What's up, everyone? We have a 2007 Mazda 3 here with an airbag light on, and the code for the airbag is B2232, which is an airbag circuit open, loop number 2 in the front driver's side, right over here. I've already diagnosed this. I've tried doing a simple fix by cleaning out the connector and putting some dielectric grease, but that did not work. So I'm diagnosing this as a clock spring, a bad clock spring, okay? And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to replace it, and then we're gonna see if it fixes the problem. I'm pretty sure it's going to though. So let's get started. The step you want to take is to disconnect the negative side on the battery. This is to ensure that no power is going to the airbag and we don't accidentally let it go off. Once that is disconnected, we're gonna tap the brake pedal about 5 times and let the car sit for about 20 minutes to make sure all the electricity is gone. Next step is to remove this airbag. You have a cover right over here that just comes off with your nails. And you got a cover on the other side right here. And we're going to use a 10 millimeter, the same size we used on our battery, to remove the 2 bolts holding the airbag in place, as so. We now have both the bolts off, and this airbag should just pop right off like that. Once you have the airbag disconnected, we want to remove these 2 connectors. I'm going to take a little mini screwdriver. Stick it right over here. You can get this for $1 at Menards. It's one of my favorite tools. Just pry up, and then this connector will just wiggle right up like that. And we can put the airbag out the way. Our next step is going to be removing the steering wheel, okay? Now, it's not too difficult. We just got to remove that bolt in the middle. You just want to make sure the wheel's straight on the vehicle, the wheel's straight over here before removing it, so you have no problems later on. Before we remove the wheel, we're going to remove this connector. All you do is push up on this tab, pull it out. You just saw me do it in 2 seconds, and then remove this little ground strap, and that should give us enough room to sneak this thing out. Got the connector out the way. Now we're going to take a 21 millimeter socket. I'm using impact. You might be able to get away with the breaker bar, but whatever you have, kind of want to hold the steering wheel and zap that mirror bolt off. Shouldn't be too difficult. Comes right out like that. Put it off to the side and just wiggle out. Just like that. I guess I didn't have to remove this, but I did it anyways. Once that's out, we have clock spring, which is held in by 3 screws. Before we get to those screws, we got to take apart this cover. That's in by 2 Phillips screws down over here. There's one over there and one over here. So we're going to remove those 2 next and take this cover off. On the clock spring, we have 1 screw, 2 screw, and 3 screw. And then we have this connector we have to take off as well. Take off this connector, just a push pin on the bottom. Should be able to squeeze that. Here's my little screwdriver. Push down and pull out. And for these 3 screws, any other screwdriver works. And then clock spring comes out like that. We have one more connector over here, which right there, you push down on that, your clock spring is out. This seller was nice enough to zip tie the clock spring where it's supposed to be at, but I'm still gonna double check it. Pretty much what you wanna do, and I'm gonna show you on the other one, so I don't have to mess around with that, is it should be about 3 spins to the right and 3 spins to the left. So that's 1, 2, and about, yeah, there you go, 3. That's 3 spins before lock, and then you go back. 1, it's hard to do with one hand, 2, and 3. And that's how you want to put the clock spring in. So obviously you can still make your lock to lock spins with your steering wheel, okay? Again, this one, they locked it in place when they took it off, so I should be okay to just put this back on and cut the zip tie. But to put everything back in, you're going to reverse procedures. We're going to hook up that connector, put this through, screw it in, pop the steering wheel back on. So let's get to it. Once the clock spring's back in place, calibrated, just like how I showed you, 3 turns to the right, and just bring it back to the center. You put the center piece back on. Cover's back on, got the screws back in. It's now time to put the steering wheel back on. I'm gonna get the connectors through there. Once you get the connectors through, you're gonna line up the 2 little bulges on the spring with steering shaft, and then just gonna push all the way back, making sure everything's clear. All right. This is gonna self-straighten itself out when you get that bolt back in and tightened up. So you're gonna start screwing this bolt in, and that gets torqued down to about 35 foot-pounds of torque. Let's put my gun onto 1, which is about 35 foot-pounds of torque. Make sure everything's clear and zap it. All right, steering wheel's back on. Now we're ready to put our connections back together. This goes over there. This goes over here. You didn't have to take that off, but I did it anyways. And then this goes back here like that. Ready to put the airbag back on. The airbag back on is pretty straightforward. You're gonna take your connections, slide it in, and then push down to lock those connectors back in place. Everything here is connected. Airbag's connected. This is gonna go on. Put your 2 airbag bolts back on. Put the covers back on. Let's put the battery back on, clear the coils, and let's see if it fixes the problem. I'm buckled up. This is awesome. The airbag light is finally gone. I'm gonna check one more time with the system. I'll turn it off, put the ignition on, read my codes, and system pass. So there you have it. Replacing the clock spring, fixed the airbag light. I probably said coil spring in this video. I'm sorry if I said that. I meant clock spring the whole time. But if you have the same problem, I think it's a common issue with these cars. I couldn't find a video on it, but 2007 Mazda 3, B2232 code. Replace your clock spring with the known good one or a new one, and that'll solve your issue. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, give it a like, and I will see you next time. Peace.